My never I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. I see them yopo.
Yo, obusha for a year Airbus scandal ebeto dwa na enkomodidi ba ho na NPP for so Sammy say omampanyini John Dramani Mahama wa bokro no we corrupt we see fine kusi he eye ene na eye OSP announcement can say special prosecutor Juma omampanyini John omampanyini Akuffo Addo edema no say onhwehwem na on making sure say say no krese omampanyini Mahama ne nsa ewo saa bribe scandal no mu a onfa meto magana fo nyina hu mubeka ya ene na eye OSP ede ne nsam eno ebetu dwa ode ne findings betu dwa o sign omampanyini Mahama ho say ne hu fita ondi boni bia etesa entino ma obi antene ne nsa ewo no so biem waye ne research from abrochira abesi Ghana ha echese no ho fita eno na ne ewo Kevin Taylor program so Loud Silence TV so with all due respect Juma Dino so na ofre eye Sammy Gyamfi na abusiafo me pese ye kɔ na ukuti interview ni bi na tie emu nsɛm wankasa wani bejo PENDREAM TV so ni mesro say obe subscribe to the channel, like video no na share to other platforms so mo so enya bi enhwɛ mesro wo hwɛ na wo kyerɛ wadwen e comment section as part of tro wadwen e wo holm na yenkan ebi enhwɛ abusiafo yenkɔ interview no mra.
Very much for joining us. You're still watching with all due respect extended version. We have lawyer Sammy Gyamfi. He is the communication director for the NDC. He joins us from Accra to discuss the breaking news. That's how we call it here, and it's got to do with OSP exonerating John Dramani Mahama. Not just exonerating, he exonerated him based on the facts, the investigations that were done, the court proceedings from the UK and the US. He basically analyzed what happened there, did his own investigations, went further to question people who were involved in this whole Airbus scandal. Tonight, we have the opportunity to speak more on this matter, but to make it easier and to make it very fair, we will speak in our local dialect. I know if Sammy Gyamfi was fluent in Hausa, he would speak Hausa. If I was fluent in other local dialect, but we'll do our best to break this down in P, which is an Anakan language, not specifically some particular tribe's language. So, Sammy Gyamfi, good evening.
Good evening, Minia.
Enyumbre, Obi Busam say compendium of speculations, any nebulous,
innuendos,
amorphous personalities.
Thank you.
I know the church answer maybe Airbus that's Rebecca Yaka because profound enough form, especially noblous. And Airbus the government noblous in your bio.
Yeah, the type a friend of mine shared this video with me and brought back a lot of memories. This was, I believe, way back 2020. Now, Kevin, anybody open or crack now would Jimre kind the DPA, what we call the Deferred Prosecution Agreement between Airbus and the UK authorities. You know? The conclusion you could come to A1 say, as far as Ghana government is concerned, you know, Ghana Bemu Penny be anywhere in the DPA, your board D can say, a dance here or say, Wajia de Budia, and now why can't share the prohibia? It's ya Ghana mra, and now UK mra, and now why ye be of my Ghana aboka. There was nothing like that in it. It's not something in our say and said there will be a government official one being a used to say will be Nani Bika and she say no na yard say bia wo man bribe it as I did akwa an answer. So
Sammy,
when those
I know you want to try and build a year Airbus assembly in Amobiatias here, but I want us to start from how it actually started.
Yeah.
From the records we have, the President of the Republic actually wrote to the Special Prosecutor's Office, Saturday Martin Amidino. And because you say among 40 as you send a Airbus assembly, a copy OSP office. Yenya 2 OSPs, Martin Amido Abba, Oko, any Kusija Ben Swabe Shohonde. What from all that happened, what do you think the president was seeking for him to pick Airbus assembly to personally write to the special prosecutor to investigate? Because there were issues to say PDS, there were other very important,
Scandals.
criminal issues, let me say it that way. Now Ghanaians were expecting the president to at least tell the special prosecutor to look into. So dear now a prompted president, and I say made the president decide as a way there is very important to me, and that the special prosecutor's office is the best place to start the investigation. Into at least when we start from there, Ghana for maybe I start free.
Yes, so say my starting community. And let me retreat as someone kind it's as a penise abasoba ne mejakai. The complainants are what they complain with a office of special prosecutor. Say on sa Airbus assembly is none other than Nana Addo William Akuffo Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Or no, or order the Executive Secretary, Nana Santi Bedietu, managed in such a kratase a complaint, or if you like, a petition to the special prosecutor say, Yatese or no Atesa Assembly UK are buying everything about Airbus aircrafts via Omotoma Ghana buying in 2011 and 2015. Now, almost to say, Abamum Peninfobi Samreno EJJ drives a year at a Shene Proya Amagana Grisika. But I'm not making it up. If you look at the statement the presidency issued to inform Ghana for answer, President Akuffo Addo has ordered the executive secretary to file this complaint with the office of the special prosecutor. And one thing is very telling, and that is the last sentence of the statement Eugene issue at that time for an behalf of Akuffo Addo. And that should tell you at the Akuffo Addo team when he was, sending this matter to the OSP. And Kayehu Yeka, Asembia Bana or Mampini Pese Yemu, and Kadiobeka say, OSP, Ye Kremupa, no Krewumua, a Bemay in a Yahu no Krewasem. But no, Akuffo Addo was not interested in unearthing the truth. It would see an answer more kind or say, special prosecutor and say, Ghana media and the in accordance with Ghanaian law. So it was based on the presumption say Ghana abemu media yeboniti and that was it. And you see, for you to understand this evil agenda of the NPP, you must look at the smear campaign or my wage against John Mahama for so many years. And it started. NPP who said, Onipa bi etunu mu asi wo se ode no be kwa afori amagana or wa dwempa wo susuye pa wo nswade mu amagana. No one said they cannot beat the person when it comes to vision, when it comes to policy. They come after your character. So they cook, they concoct wicked lies against you. They did it to Nkrumah, their forebears. We don't know what Papa Noah. Omona ye Nkrumah sa Nkrumah kofa kanke nyamia bagana. Nkrumah de Ghana sike nyina ya kusunguda mu wiesika and Nkrumah Bakwari Egypt ni ba na say Nkrumah. But after say Ghana for you two Nkrumah so sa you two Nkrumah wie no Ghana for the no say papa ye ni ye. It is the same thing this NPP tradition decided to do to John Mahama, and it started from 2009. President Mahama be a vice president, and almost between 2012 and 2016 obey because they saw that this man was transforming Ghana in every sector. And President Mahama Greater Accra Regional Hospital, the friend of Rich Hospital, who said Dine Fair. Ebebe nipa do Mahama normal to Abama. Until they attach corruption to it. We see hospital, but at what cost? The project cost is inflated. So President Mahama, Kumasi airports in their own stronghold, a 24-hour operating airport by installing aeronautic landing lights. Ebetinyama plane etu anadwo na si Kumasi anadwo. At the first, I was say, President Mahama, your control. I didn't know why I did it. And you know, I said, no, or the body be up so. And I said, one making Ghana for your dance for. President Mahama hotels, Dubai. President Mahama will yacht, ship, Tokyo. President Mahama, the $10 million are printed presidential diaries. And President Mahama has been a victim of lies and deception. Now, President Mahama, you're too a based on South Row, Manekotran. Na Edibe in Fien Naya, NPP Abetna Kunyaswa. Omunya dance here to establish any of those false claims they made against Mahama. Okay. So, Omote said UK Assembly SEO about Airbus. Now, almost suspicion is that it may involve a relative of Mahama. Omu said this is their golden opportunity to bury Mahama's political career. This was their golden opportunity to finish Mahama. In fact, I know some of them, said, by the time they are done with Mahama on Airbus, Mahama Crown, he will be disqualified from contesting the election. So that was the game plan. And what Akuffo Addo said, Obe exploited the bitterness of NDC near on the John Mahama falling out, which was the first special prosecutor, Martin Amidu. Now, when you sue NDC need to go after John Mahama, said that Ghana will not see his real intention. But the Jan Kenya said, Martin Amidu no call Akuffo Addo sune the banner. He saw that these guys are not honest. These guys are just using me. These guys are more corrupt than where I am coming from. That is why he labeled Akuffo Addo as a mother serpent of corruption. After his life, they wanted to kill him, like they killed Ameswali, and he resigned. And Martin Amidu came out to tell us, you can Google it. Say Akuffo Addo mounted pressure on him. Year to 2020 abano. Akuffo Addo saw Jesse Martin Amidu so say, waiting a mayor or special prosecutor to make Kiane King for report to the bar. They didn't care about the truth. Wickedness. All they wanted was to get a statutory anti-corruption body to indict Mahama for corruption. Now, what we actually Mahama, ya Jojo, ya Gunumufi, ya Senigi. But you see, Kevin, we are seeing Mahama. Say, Uyiwa Kuma Musa will be so more my son pa. Your legacy will speak for you. Time will vindicate you, and God will speak for you. They said, "Dear Joseph, Ninianum be said, yet Sieno so Yame, Yan was Semani Bay in Pakistan. And no one else in Ghana. Akuffo Addo and Bawumia thought we have finished Mahama. They thought they were burying him, but they didn't know he was a seed and he was going to sprout out from the ground. And we told Akuffo Addo assembly. He was Akuffo Addo Kasa was Airbus assembly even than NPP communicators like Richard Anyamba and Dennis Miracles Abwaje. Okojina Simpieso Ghana Bar Association Conference. I lawyer for you and what the Okwa Emrasem ene impuntusem na Oko Canabo. And when Okojina Oka said, Mahama is government official one in FÆAR scandal awaje bribe is corrupt. Castigated Mahama. Sir, Akwano Kikan Sebunu, people like Usu and Panon, I mean useless characters in the NPP saw this as a bonanza to destroy an innocent man. So to answer your first question, this was the grand scheme, this was the grand agenda. And the agenda went deep into it. And some trouble for the in all the media houses, they contracted them to always say John Mahama is government official one and attach John Mahama with bribery and corruption. But if you read the deferred prosecution agreement involving Airbus has settled the matter with the UK authorities. You will see, sir, Airbus is one of the two who's on my own for so. But John Mahama, and Anania, and Anababu Penny Bianiwa, you can't be in that agreement to say, why am for so. Today, you know, you will see now, and then. And from Abama, and as we move along, you better call OSP reports in the
From what we heard today, free a special prosecutor. No, Obibet Mebusa say, Akuffo Addo has this set the grounds for people in higher office to be investigated by anti-corruption agencies. And Kenyan Dan Kinim said. President John Mahama availed himself or called the special prosecutor's office when he was invited. Even though Ghana and Branach said OBD president now free swap, there were 3 years to do that, to be calling you in, to be questioning you. Time Audi president, you will fear me and some fear me and Sunny Chima. I bind to me and Shada and Kase. And maybe I now the president, no, or don't hook of Rofra Bibimunti, Yabeta or Sebra, the baby in Samano. But after almost 8 years, something that has never happened in the history of this country before, a former president just avails himself, walks to the office of the special prosecutors, a special prosecutor, and says, question your person, Busame. Now, majority of the people talking about fighting corruption. I believe, this is the first step if somebody wants to fight corruption. And if you want to fight corruption, it should start from your doorstep.
Sure.
And if a former president, 829 ACO, the special prosecutor's officer, doesn't mean, say, Akuffo Addo, this government, this Airbus issue that they forced on Ghanaians, he has set the grounds for when people are out of office, should and must be called to answer questions. And the must is used advisably because Imrani are 3 years, right? But morally, do you think that if Akuffo is out of office after 3 years and he's called to answer questions on a few things, you think it would be right for any anti-corruption agency to do that?
Absolutely, my brother. Oh, in Benisi, Abba, the Botechi.
The Boba.
And no one near the Boba. And it's in Penisa to say, oh, real phone, sir. You see, I am a dese Akuffo Addo ankasa, and I am the complainant in this matter. Or the John Mahama come special prosecutor say, as far as this matter is concerned. And by doing that, he has set a precedent. Why a cancer now hobia to and no the biggest suicidia ama won no when they leave office. Because they cannot subject Mahama to one standard and expect that a different standard will be applied to them. No, the same standard will apply across board.
Simple.
President Mahama, he said it in Tamale during our campaign launch. You are a servant of the people. Now the time when they say at any given time you can be held accountable and you must be ready to avail yourself. It will share Jumedia would deal in peace and check on a central for DP Capona. Or can you say, me, Nitim Fita, Makuma Bufita, meaning say, me more, may you chronoda. And until I am daring the government say, Opa, or when them investigations we are no prosecute me. Say, my fat and buying sicker once to the ground. And you see, Kevin, this is a very profound statement. Not every leader can speak like that. Because easy say we be MP for 12 years, 3 terms, like John Mahama, Deputy Minister for Communications, Minister for Communications, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, and President of the Republic of Ghana. Now wait, now you're bold, I can say. My record is there, my hands are clean. I dare you to investigate me. And only somebody who is confident in his own integrity and his own track record. So was some minus some power, one fan and some more minus between Akasa. President Mahama has been consistent on this. And one man who coin number and a precedent has been set. And you put a date into 8th August 2024. Because at all costs, I am confident, since on the 7th of December 2024. Actually, 9 December, they declare.
Inshallah.
And when that change happens, accountability will happen. Now, accountability will start from the top. And Akuffo Addo will be subjected to the same standard of accountability. Everyone, demonstration will be there because John Mahama, special prosecutor, a friend who are investigating Upuno. Maybe Sammy Gyamfi kwa wamo mama
Yo.
Wamo ndi senior mami bia say yanko demonstration bia intia special prosecutor say he subjected himself peacefully, willingly, answered all the questions. Time Omoka from he made himself available. And that is the same thing we would expect from Akuffo Addo. Vice President, there will need immunity. A president now, constitutional man, certain immunities from prosecution. That does not apply to a vice president. Enti Omoboa PDS are conform Omobebuji Sika over 2 billion cities live dosa Omafedukwa Amagana Boka $180 million a US workers on the prayer and active. Talking about Bawumia. And now are benefiting from illegally so sourced contracts. Our Auditor General, I established, said all those contracts were overpriced 3 times more the price I was in Ghana buying here. All these people will face the music of accountability. We should make no mistake about it. It is an important precedent. Let's take note of it. Nedru ona NPP full soldier. Yes, Brazil ID headquarters and now OSP Wabeye Bidimudia. Emma, because President Mahama, all corona.
Simple.
Sammy? Yeah, Sammy, this brings me to my next question. After the announcement or the presser by the special prosecutor, Yahu NPP phobia Omakasa, like the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. I mean, I should not relevant to me, should I name the ding or a DBSA and a member of parliament, Mr. Pia Kubi, and Swakasa. Now, Ibim said the OSP did a bad job. I honestly, I don't think Sanka OSP the ban Okaka Mahama is guiltier and Kamobeka said the OSP did a bad job. So I want to remember some call. But some of the arguments they are making, they say, excuse me, our argument is say, John Mahama, as far as Omakasa or government official one, at a point he was the chairman of the Armed Forces Council, and became a president. He sat through meetings. He had direct influence on this process. Now, it brings me to this. There are a lot of agencies that has been put together, and these agencies are directly under the office of the president. When you pick an agency like the Free SHS, it falls directly under the office of the president, meaning it takes direct instructions from the president's office. If anything goes wrong with the Free SHS Secretariat, something goes wrong, it's a Planting for Food and Jobs, which was basically established under the office of the president. Say, come and it's simpler. A president, technically, Nipa Omuye Jumaman directly, a president in the office, which is Akuffo Addo. One district, one factory was established under the president's office. We have agencies like Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, IPEP, your Ghana School Feeding Program under the office of the president, your railway development, your Agenda 111. Would it be fair in the future if an investigation is open into all these agencies that were directly under the office of the president, and the president is called to also answer questions? Would it be fair if in the future anything like that happens?
Yeah, it will be very fair, very, very fair. But you see, let me deal with Sansin Bununa Omwa and then Nguasia Tuomo Keka. You see, NPP for Nimuguas. And then the sources of Jubilee House tells me that after the press conference of Kisie Jabe, the place was in a mess. Arewa bomb. Because Obeni swore to destroy John Mahama and the Unyamia saying by ensuring special prosecutor the no correct Todono and and so they are now shifting the groups. The can almost say special prosecutor say UK for Nambuano in Tiano Chese if you know no seem to be why near humanity. Simplicity, because you see the UK authorities are involving Airbus, which is a company registered in the UK. They engage in civil negotiations to find an amicable settlement with Airbus. So once they have settled the matter with Airbus, by law, to me, they cannot do that. I don't think it's yet Matanami do call UK SFO for mutual legal assistance or why or share information. He didn't get any feedback. Kisia Jaben so called and he didn't get any feedback because the law will not allow the UK authorities to divulge any information. And Kisia Jaben so I guess Kisia Jaben say UK for no information to me the other anyone and maybe I draw the conclusion. No. Also because UK for information or more than or no one kasa in from scratch. So he conducted a full probe on his own. Paragraph 6.1, it is they'll say the OSP's mutual legal assistance requested from the UK and US authorities place the OSP in a position no better than any person who read the DPA and the decisions of the UK and US courts on the Airbus matter. It was not a lack of industry or want of trying on the part of the OSP. In the end, the OSP conducted the investigation on its own. However, the DPAs, that's the Deferred Prosecution Agreements, and the decisions of the UK and the UK courts served as a vital foundation for the OSP's investigation. Otwaso Beka no form was said. Therefore, the OSP investigative outcomes are substantially similar to that of the SFO and the DOJ, that is the Department of Justice of the United States of America. And you say why you should work? Or say yes, information I made, but I conducted my own investigations. All the people involved, including John Mahama, I identify. He interrogated all of them. The UK SFO did not interrogate John Mahama. The United States DOJ did not interrogate John Mahama. But Kisie Jabe, the special prosecutor of Ghana, interrogated John Mahama. And to look more comprehensive investigations. And I'll say, any USFO, any UK4, which is that number one, Kevin. Process now. Even before I go to the process, you see, there are a lot of the people now. I won't say Airbus. And then John Mahama, they don't really understand it. Why should John Mahama be involved in the procurement of aircrafts. Let's help them. You see, John Mahama in 2009 became Atta Mills' vice president.
Yeah.
Ghana, so we are vice president, automatically, we are chairman of police council and chairman of the Ghana Armed Forces Council.
Yeah.
We are chairman automatically. And a soldier for Air Force, or we need the final approval must be given by the Ghana Armed Forces Council, chairman, a vice president. And Akuffo Addo 2008, and Ghana Air Force Council, who place in Ayadada, and Obuko peacekeeping, they are not safe, so they want to change it. So at the time, the Americans even wanted to give us planes maybe for free, and even train our pilots, they take home. But I buy from buy, side money delay, so America arrangements now working. Place now no somebody my no time one which is by 2011 not ain't ready by that. So I decided say similar aircraft able to the same work but even at a cheaper cost. And unti Ghana soldier for when your politicians, the Ghana Armed Forces, specifically the Air Force, settled on plane a friend of Casa C295. Say so the military command took their own decision and they came to inform Abai. Abai no one and that man John Mahama as vice president. So John Mahama had to be involved in the discussions. Say plain belly and talk. What specification? And war belly and talk. You bet to me at one Ghana Sebu Ghana. That was John Mahama's role in the arrangements. And as John Mahama was a busybody sitting somewhere and a Ghana so that folk to play or then the work for the world. It is because his work made him the chairman of the Ghana Armed Forces Council. Now the special prosecutor found 5 important things, and quickly let me run through them. Number 1 is the procedure Ghana buying the tall aircraft. Special prosecutor said if you mean that say acquire Ghana Air Force for Ghana Military Command for my first order to plane. Acquire and mrachro was also faso. Yes, acquire so and these 3 aircrafts are from Casa, your friend of Casa 295. I cut off from Airbus. Yes, acquire so and NDC are buying a faso. Young Quetim Brano, young Quetin Shayano. We follow due process. And so open evidence now. You can look at the reports, specifically paragraph 6 points. Most starting reading from 6.3. Also, the OSP investigation shows that in the general scheme of affairs, the acquisition of operational assets by the Air Force is driven by national and operational requirements. When a need is identified, the Air Force Command develops a technical paper upon which providers are requested to make presentations on technical details, logistical support, and cost. If a provider meets the requirements, a formal contract in the form of a sales and purchase agreement are drafted by the provider for the consideration of the Air Force. Thereafter, stakeholder meetings are held among representatives of the Air Force, Attorney General's Department, Department of Legal Services of the Ministry of Defense, the Judge Advocate General's Office, and the provider, aimed at arriving at a consensus on outstanding issues and conflicting positions and resulting amendments to the draft agreement. Thereafter, the agreement is submitted to the Ministry of Defense for cabinet and parliamentary approvals. The Air Force then constitutes a compliance team to work closely with the provider to ensure that the delivered item meets the agreed specifications. The processes leading to the purchase by the government of Ghana of the 3 C295 twin turboprop military transport aircraft from Airbus followed substantially the same pattern. the same pattern. Not just a processor, you the top plane, if it ABC Neno. Special prosecutor say, and no one at John Mahama, NDC by Faso. Military, no, they request, never. You will say, we are seeing your planer, they are requested for proposals. Among for the proposals, the bar, near the board, near choose to the board, near your wish in an parliament for approval. This is the same thing that happened. Planes we need now were approved or can report label. The second thing the special prosecutor found out, and a lot of people don't know this, there was a pure madrid decision. John Mahama near your friend Samuel Adam Foster. Special prosecutor establishes it. Only Airbus for a contractor or your agent long before say Airbus for could decide say on aircraft Samagana. Only Airbus are Juma Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and in Nigeria. Even before Ghana transaction.
So and you say Abia John Mahama be vice or president and Okoje license be quickly because of per se. So he was already doing his business. He's an agent already.
As a pilot in South Africa in the year 2000. Trained as a pilot. So he's somebody who already understands the aviation industry.
Yeah.
And or your consultant or board these aircrafts to get deals with nations. And Wabwa in Kenya, what kind of report now is all there? Wabwa in Nigeria, Zambia, Uganda. Now, in the case of Ghana, the decision by Ghana by say Casa 295 aircrafts, and no never Ghana. Into no was say a top. Now, you don't free Airbus. Ghana by taking that decision, way ahead after Ansana. John Mahama Nuanipu all basa transaction. Enti John Mahama Nuana no ne Airbus ye Juma dada won kro be so no. E catch John Mahama ne Ghana ban say mo me koto play Casa 295 and send free Airbus for. The special prosecutor has found that Ghana government had already taken the decision to buy the aircrafts before John Mahama's brother came into the picture. Where is my evidence? Paragraph 6.6.
6.6. Mamin kind no been bekasa okay can there to go for him. 6.6 says oh sorry, it's quite small. It also appears that Foster and his associates became involved as intermediaries in the Airbus Ghana deal after the decision by the government of Ghana in preference of the C295 aircraft.
After the decision by the government of Ghana in preference of the C295 aircraft. And Johnson over the intermediary for Airbus. Now Ghana decided say plane a aircraft to Casa 295 that the decision had been taken.
Therefore, it seems that Foster's Airbus intermediary role at the time his brother served as the vice president of Ghana was a case of luckless coincidence that attracted the disapproval of the UK and US authorities.
This is somebody who is an agent for Airbus in other countries. In the case of Ghana, Ghana took its own decision. And the soldiers took the decision, not John Mahama. The military took the decision to buy this Casa 295 aircraft from Airbus because it is stronger, it is cheaper, and it could be delivered in good time. And Sapra John Mahama Airbus an intermediary in the transaction.
Yeah.
So how did that influence the transaction? Then number 3, Kevin, the special prosecutor found said, yes, John Mahama as chairman of the Ghana Armed Forces Council, he was involved in the negotiations between Ghana and Airbus to get a good deal. Now, the I said, when they can't make special prosecutor, I said, Mahama did it with good intentions. I'm quoting the special prosecutor. Now, apart from negotiations that John Mahama participating in, India, Airbus in paying for Bagana, no one called John Mahama office, na Minister of Finance, or on my meeting in the presence of other people. Or the Sunday man, John Mahama, or ye, Ghana ye, you are now open. Name Eba, Nimiano, Samuel Adam Foster. The agency agreement only Airbus for the one. Special prosecutor say John Mahama no demotion. None in said the no no catch Airbus say Monko family as an agent because Indiano years before Airbus came to Ghana to sell aircraft to us and was already working with them. Evidence no paragraph 6.5. If I'm talking Kaima or
6.5.
Yeah.
Wait, I said so for a year. All right, 6.5. The OSP investigations found no evidence that former President Mahama was involved or played any role in the procurement and maintenance of the agency relationship between Airbus and Foster and his associates in respect of the purchase by the government of Ghana. I'm sorry. Let me take this again. I'm also reading from the phone like the way you're reading from the phone. So, the OSP investigation found no evidence that former President Mahama was involved or played any role in the procurement and maintenance of the agency relationship between Airbus and Foster and his associates in respect of the purchase by the government of Ghana of military transport aircraft from Airbus. And it appears to the OSP that the direct communications and meetings between the former President Mahama and officials of Airbus to close the deal were actuated by good intentions on the part of the former.
And the back agency dealer, I said John Mahama no demotion. But the back John Mahama participation in the negotiations also
he had good intentions. Yeah.
And now the American say Foster way John Mahama only Airbus why you Airbus for Ghana. Evidence no paragraph 6.16. It will be our one from Kakra. We will 6.16. And also so can you the pass 6.16.
6.16.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. Take it from there. You will read it through.
Or the 6.16 will say it also appears to the Office of Special Prosecutor that the relationship between Airbus and Foster and his associates was neither one-off nor peculiar to the Airbus Ghana deal. Airbus had in place similar business partnership models with Foster and his associates in respect of business promotion in other African countries before the Airbus Ghana transaction ended up on.
Before that, Foster, the one had the crowd down. Yeah.
In other African countries, it's the NPP for same.
Yeah.
They can take a good person and demonize him who now baby is evil, but that is their stock in trade. You see, my main found free agreement, you know, my found call script speech now, special prosecutor. Okay, I'm forwarding a copy to you on WhatsApp so you can follow the relevant portion because I guess this is maybe I drew this is the most important part of the findings of the special prosecutor. This is the speech he read. Now, over page 1. Now, Obabe say, page 2. Okay. What are even page 2 on now? Over from 1 to page.
Indeed, maybe I highlighted Nana.
Okay. Even before that one, the paragraph before that.
This is because
And to us for this, because without seeking to critique the UK and US DPs, the OSP found no evidence, circumstantial or direct, but we mention later, which suggests that Foster and his associates were actually paid bribes, and which bribes were to be transmitted to former President Mahama, and that the bribes were actually paid to former President Mahama. Who were they? No credit you.
Now, something in
about bribery, because Akuffo Addo's complaint on the court special prosecutor. And then
OSP Cry is not limiting this to only his investigation. So he expanded it to the UK and the US investigations that established what UK and the US said they did not find any bribery, corruption, monies paid to JM.
No bribery, nothing of that nature. No bribery. In fact, page 2 page 2 maybe I can which check the second paragraph now. Also, the OSP found no evidence that suggests that the involvement of Foster as an intermediary of Airbus and the direct communications and meetings between former President Mahama and officials of Airbus to close the deal between Airbus and the government of Ghana amounted to any corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of which the OSP has a mandate. It's number one, no bribe. John Mahama, wanje bribe, yentia bribe, yama. Number two, no corruption. Katasheshe proyebia suni. When you come, what we say, process no more fast for pepe. Nimiano, no Airbus for in other African countries. Deal no crown, no negotiate here, we answer the no conflict of interest. No corruption, no bribery. Now, I'm going to the last page. Now, the way the special prosecutor concluded. And what now 7 hour can is here, a dance here. Because the other special prosecutor knew, say, NPP for ya 2 Now, say what the reports in the Bible say, oh, because special prosecutor, UK for St. John Mohammed Dufo. Now, a special prosecutor, now St. John Mohammed. So, the special prosecutor actually referenced the verdict of the serious fraud office of the UK on their investigations in respect of Samuel Adam Foster Mahamediano any business partners. This is what is the letter UK aprofo. Eyo movie o mutrema Mahamediano. Ena kisia gabe they conclude the press conference in the say criminal investigation into Airbus, SC, and others. I write to notify you that UK forward was I write to notify you, Samuel Adam Foster, that following a review of the evidence in your case and consideration of the code for the Crown prosecutors, a decision has been made that you are not to be prosecuted for any offense in respect of the above serious fraud investigation. This decision might be reconsidered if a further review of this decision shows that it was wrong, and in order to maintain confidence in the criminal justice system, a prosecution should be brought or new evidence come to light. And a special prosecutor and the Crown is also. It has not come to the notice of the Office of Special Prosecutor
that the SFO has reconsidered its decision.
So
as it stands, it's still staying. He's been cleared.
Cleared in UK. Cleared in Ghana. But then people before say a UK found John Mahama the name of Obi Beauty so much a bribe. It is not there. This is the evidence. You see, Omar Shetty go post to 2 new things, which is in the judgment, the report of the OSP. So let's go back to the 25-page report. Now, you're clear, you really open ground, many budget. And before, just say, Ketrema die, they die, they depend on Kitty. It's one way you do confuse you here. And they are using some journalists. This is the new agenda. And now it's here news and rare. That is the new Spain. But I'm fat. Because you know, John Mahama or Yabubrokos Yadi said that. No souls are or more chrono than to the chrono to the swan about why it didn't done. So, Jomodia Bade say, oh, special prosecutor, listen, John Mahama and Bolivia, name Mumno, Nimiano, Ekanonintino, not conflict of interest. You. So we are talking about conflict of interest. Journalist. But the young the special prosecutor named Ekan, the young say, was it even a finding of fact? No. It was Nadine, or no Canadian. And I walk say, some people could have legitimate grounds to have suspicion. Suspicions. Yes, there is conflict of interest. But I said people could have suspicions. Now let me read that part to you. Paragraph 6.7 of the report.
6.7. Okay.
Now 6.8. I'll say. In fact, let me start from 6.7 so that it will make sense. The OSP found no evidence that suggests that the involvement of Foster as an intermediary of Airbus and the direct communications and meetings between former President Mahama and officials of Airbus to close a deal between Airbus and the government of Ghana amounted to any corruption and corruption-related offences in respect of what the OSP has a mandate. However, it ought reasonably to have occurred to former President Mahama that the government of Ghana that the familial relationship between former President Mahama and Foster and the direct participation by former President Mahama in the communications and meetings with Airbus officials were bound to raise reasonable suspicions underline of improper conduct and dealings, notwithstanding any claims to good faith conduct and above board dealings, especially in light of the fact that during the first Airbus campaign, former President Mahama was the chairman of the Armed Forces Council by reason of his position as the vice president and therefore a key decision maker. Into the special prosecutor, he's not saying he said there was conflict of interest. When he came home, he said, Ghana taking the decision to buy the aircraft and Zakra and John Mahama we are not ever very involved. And there was no corruption, no bribery, due process was followed. He's only saying he said, and I'm saying, Airbus introduced John Mahama as their agent. Now was saying John Mahama who said, Nimia can one idea. A bill to be a suspicion is a conflict of interest view. That's all he's saying. Suspicions. And a multitude of suspicions doesn't constitute crime. It doesn't constitute a fact. And it is not true. Say, special prosecutor say, now there was conflict of interest. I said people could have legitimate grounds to have suspicions and one another.
But are we looking for corruption, bribery?
Oh, we are looking for suspicion.
We are looking for suspicion. That at the end of it, that's what the whole thing comes to.
What is the bottom line?
Yeah.
Was there corruption? Special prosecutor says no. UK are proposing no. Was there bribery? Special prosecutor says no. Was there
it's like Jakpama Semia, Jakpama ambulance. Are we looking to retrieve our money as a nation? Or because even Big C is offering to give you money. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Exactly.
And these are journalists on TV. That is the argument they are making.
What they are trying to monitor the hell to be their new line. It will go. They are not here. That is not what is there. He is not saying he said there was conflict of interest. What he said there was no conflict of interest, no corruption, no bribery, due process was followed. He is only saying he said, I was saying who said amount for which we are suspicious, he said there is conflict of interest. Not that there was actual conflict of interest. Then he also continued, I believe 6.10 or say, then again, the direct participation of the president and the vice president on behalf of the republic in commercial communications and meetings with commercial entities should not be encouraged either, as they expose these elected high officials to the specter of the slightest hint of perceived corruption that may attend international business transactions. The president and vice president should be insulated from such direct commercial dealings.
This is an advice. This is basically an advice.
Advice. Oh, wait for people follow when you go as an aqua. Say, say, your mama, you body. I saw one table of food. I said, I don't know what is going on.
This is an advice, straightforward. Yeah, quite no. Mommy, who is say, you're paying for no. And that's all.
Any company be contract. President, never vice president, no ministers.
That's all.
And I don't know, but even me, because I told the vice president, the president, they are really passionate about a certain transaction.
Yeah.
Their involvement alone looks in my businessman. Now, yet if you crack in our ordinary lives, Kevin, everyone say you are looking for a certain deal. Loud silence media. On cry now when you're or your workers, let me put it that way. More ability to get a good deal. And it's a one negotiation.
Sometimes there are some source they talk to. They are difficult to deal with, but at due point you always say, okay, I'll also talk to you. And when I step in, the person opens up. So okay, you see, I'm like Kevin, so I'll give the information.
Because your system of governance is a presidential system of democracy. All the executive powers of state are vested in the president. And on one pony be a minister. The minister is there at the biggest of the president. That's why the president can hire and fire him. And who takes a minister now in a year? And one time say when you was the president so never. It's a blue baby a vice president or a president can get involved in communications with an entity to ensure say Adena Yetono, the correct thing, the right specifications. We are getting value for money. We are getting delivery on time. There is nothing wrong with that. It's an attempt to shift the goalposts.
There's one thing to who said media need be here. They want to shift the whole thing too, especially when the announcement came out to say the former president has been exonerated and that Airbus are seminina. But you could see some of the news outlets. Almost captions need be to say special prosecutor unmasked John Mahama as government official one. They leave it there. Yeah, and sometimes it's terrible because right now the argument is switching to government official one and John Mahama. But the issue is you cannot vindicate John Mahama without unmasking who is government official one. Because go ahead.
You can have to a system about a certain government official one.
Yeah.
So they talk say once special prosecutor Becca said John Mahama is government official one. I was monitoring the press conference. Immediately the special prosecutor said John Mahama is government official one. Then their media guys started doing the flyers.
Yeah.
One can the role of this so-called government official one. So what you say?
Because OS speaker say government official one has been exonerated. Who is government official one? Yeah, you need to put a name there.
Now tells you this government official one was a vice president who was the chairman of the Armed Forces Council who had good intentions and therefore participated in the communications and meetings with Airbus to get a good deal for Ghana. And he had good intentions in it. And so then the Jubilee as chairman of the Armed Forces Council and therefore participated in these things. Or you'll be a better luncheon. Even if the technocrats are doing the wrong thing, can find her. And this will tell everybody the man John Mahama that kind of once said, he's a diligent man, he's a hard-working man. When you are or then start trying to send them from the president, the vice president, to be in the office. No, he gets involved in the work to ensure that the job is done. And that is what this shows. So we now know, say, sir, government official, one know you papa. Sir, now he had good intentions. Sir, now I am bribe dia. Sir, now I am catastrophe for you. Sir, now he been saying. In the government, maybe the middle we say, Unyame and Apa NPP for home to Their cup is full. You see, there is judgment against the NPP. That is why throw maybe out to a collapse like a pack of cards. These days, the journalists they paid to destroy him. So we will tell us in the back. Most of them, I'm sure you have seen that they've come out to apologize to John Mahama. Most of them. And you see, John Mahama is a blessed man because leaders their vindication come after they have died.
After.
Because the trauma and trauma so the truth was not told, did not manifest, did not come to light when he was alive. But John Mahama there, Nyame and he see it's like what David said, Psalm 23, was he prepares a table, you see, in the presence of my enemies.
Sammy, in the presence of John Mahama's enemies, preparing that table, do you think this will also force our president, who is very vindictive, to find ways to get rid of the special prosecutor, great as in to sack him?
Yes. I know, and I can break the story. Me say, they try to even bribe the special prosecutor. Send a mayor can report we and or the BBB Shima indict Mahama. Almost try they were beginning to report my advanced opinion steady. They thought that they would get full stop. Will report to them with Mahama. Hey! And the Mahama is to go to free Ghana. The Wunyame and Chad never happened. So they are going after the special prosecutor. That is their stock in trade. NPP 4 or mono be cannaboko. When tia or be it, when tia they will come after your life. That is what they did to Amos Wally. That is what they did to Martin Amigo. His life is at risk, and that is what they are doing to Kisie Jaben. If they try to use you, now they will come after you. So very soon you will see them cooking stories against Kisie Jaben. They will even say John Mahama bribe. Kisie Jaben on one and coffee and buy you will hear a lot of funny stories. But what's here, you see, he who the gods want to kill the first make mad. And December 7th is not far away. And for everyone watching, maybe I won't end this, maybe I win the political party, maybe I want to abate that. This must interest you because in Chantoso area, the be anywhere your chance said, you be Chantorato, so they are saying with the Abraham at the chrono. And to 1 year, the year one, Kebeoya, Senka Joma, you will see here and Kenya with them. It's a lesson no credit about Bontia, you wouldn't will be number one. Number two, what they should also tell you, they say, John Mahama is not corrupt, he has never been corrupt, and he will never be corrupt. He is incorruptible. If you're so defending the Wapakot feel, or Colombia and the one dance and therefore, say ye pe opinimua, or what the integrity of it, I have been taken through the fire of accountability. And I am also coming to take everyone through the fire of accountability, whether you are Akuffo Addo, or you are Bawumia, or you are NDC appointee or Famwa. That person can only be John Mahama. Because he has tasted power, he has tasted opposition, he has been investigated, he has been interrogated, and he has come out squeaky clean. And therefore, he has the moral authority to subject all these Ejapadian thieves to accountability. So, Yesika Bebeba, Bawumia in a Busian form, Akuffo Addo in a Busian form, Ajia Kentens woman, the only way we can retrieve those monies, prosecute those culpable, jail people, punish people to serve as a deterrence to others, is when you vote for change. It is when you use your thumb on 7th December to bring about the change we need. Because it is only when that change happens and a new government comes into office, a new leader comes into office, and I able to prosecute these people. Omuti akonya furumpu isike ehihye omo pass. Bola minister ne de $1 million. Na bola minister mpodi ni. Na ba womia kenufuriata. Eni Akuffo Addo ni nebusuafo. No de se woni ense o ka kire. Nti ya sempe. Let's vote for change. Don't make any mistake about it. Let's vote for an incorruptible leader, tried and tested. This Airbus matter shows that Mohammed's integrity has been tested.
Yes.
And I hope Bawumia and Akuffo Addo will also subject themselves to the same test.
Inti ninyina no say Airbus scandal no noblos.
Noblos. In Windows.
Oh, Morphos. All right. That was lawyer Sammy Gyamfi. Lawyer Sammy Gyamfi, thank you very much. Lawyer Sammy Gyamfi now today can honor the Director of Communications, NDC. And the Waba Abechurch in Semu Mobia Ehu Asemno Senior. We read the details no with you. Platform we can be say Yenya Butre, Ejujumu Bro, Ejujumu Ewo Eye Akankasem. It has been very educative. Ghana for Ehu no Kreno. John Dramani Mahama is the right person to lead. We're passing all the tests. And we all know, say, on the opportunity, or be apply the force, send it be a corruption. You bet to me to say every Ghana. You're still watching With All Due Respect extended version. My name is Kevin Taylor. After this short break, you bet to our show, so we will continue to break down the facts.
Bas did not represent and had no intention of representing the interest of the referenced individuals. It appears to us that the sole aim of Airbus was to save its image and reputation, never mind what it did to the image and reputation of the referenced individuals, and to pay fines to avoid prosecution. Therefore, by reconstructing the entirety of Airbus dealings in Ghana, and through its intermediaries and with Ghanaian public officials, the OSP, looking at it from both the perspective of the officials of Airbus and that of the Airbus intermediaries and Ghanaian public officials, it seems to us that what Airbus perceived and accepted in the deferred prosecution agreements as the real intentions of its employees in their dealings with the intermediaries and Ghanaian public officials is at cross purposes with what appear to be the real intentions and expectations of the intermediaries and the Ghanaian public officials in their dealings with the employees of Airbus. This is what I'm saying. While the accepted facts in the two foreign jurisdictions are that the employees of Airbus designed the payments to the intermediaries as bribes intended to court favor with Ghanaian public officials, especially ex-President John Dramani Mahama. On the other hand, the intermediaries appeared to expect and receive the payments as their legitimate expectation under an arrangement of success-based commissions for the sale of the military transport aircraft to the government of Ghana. And their actions, in whichever way viewed, were calculated as businessmen expecting their lawful paychecks and not as conduits of a bribery scheme. The concoction of a plan by senior leadership in SMO International and the Defense and Space Division of Airbus to deliberately circumvent Airbus compliance rules by substituting Company D, or the company owned by Consultant 4 and Consultant 5, with Spanish Intermediary 8, or Organization 1, to ensure payments to Foster and his associates, though wrongful and deceptive, was entirely an internal matter for Airbus in respect of its disciplinary regulations and code of ethics. It does not amount to the payment of bribes to court favor with Ghanaian public officials in the reckoning of Ghanaian law. It is a case of the employees of Airbus deceiving Airbus. Neither does the short declaration by Airbus to the Spanish Export Credit Agency and Airbus's non-declaration in the context of the US ITAR. Consequently, OSP has no evidentiary basis upon which to conclude that Samuel Adam Foster, also known as Samuel Adam Mahama, Philip Sean Middlemas, and Leanne Sarah Davis acted as conduits of bribery between the employees of Airbus and former President John Dramani Mahama or any other public official. Also, the OSP found no evidentiary basis that suggests that Samuel Adam Foster, also known as Samuel Adam Mahama, Philip Sean Middlemis, and Leanne Sarah Davis received payments from Airbus with the intention of bribing former President John Dramani Mahama or any other public official. Further, the OSP found no evidentiary basis that suggests that former President John Dramani Mahama or any other public official was paid bribes by Samuel Adam Foster, also known as Samuel Adam Mahama, Philip Sean Middlemis, and Leanne Sarah Davis in respect of the purchase by the government of Ghana of military transport aircraft from Airbus. Then again, the OSP found no evidentiary basis that suggests that former President John Dramani Mahama or any other public official was induced to improperly favor or did improperly favor Airbus in respect of the purchase by the government of Ghana of military transport aircraft from Airbus. In the case of Sarah Feno, she should not even have been a subject of the OSP.
Teacher.
All right, welcome back to the show. You're still watching With All Due Respect extended version.
Enti abusafo enkomo no na yakotwe edi abramo ewo Loud Silence TV so ewo Jumadia yatunde With All Due Respect Kevin Taylor ena oye the host ena ene otumi ene the director in charge of communication edema NDC Amanyokuno lawyer Sammy Gyamfi atwetwe enkomo afa Airbus no hono. I think that baby Addo no dear Nemekan say on my penny John Dramani Mahama nyame adware no nyame atew no ho nyame assignity enne amen o kasai no papa no we a clean man going into an election 2024 na me yina yinim say Ghana hadie pepa no ubia ne ho atepa dia John Mahama we no compare Dr. Mahmoud Baumia on no kwako contest here nyoma bebe scandals bebe na papa we hu scandals bebe PDF FN saying habo a okofa money ti tomatoes ni ho keka ho a na FN saying ho asem ba yi we no firi ho no mu a just ni nua ni sisters mo contract bi o magidi a amfa mara kwan so ensem bebre etu di omoto nsane ni achi eso a utimu se John Dramani Mahama edda ewo nanim kra chese wa pass exams no na menim se 2024 elections ya yekoi no Ghana fu nyinara will endorse integrity and corruptionless. Yes, obi oye corruptionless, which is no oye incorruptible. Oye incorrectible. What I say, John Dramani Mahama. No incorruptible. What I say, yes or no. Pro ye kankan ni katasheshe bi enu a ebon won ho unya sa anyoma no won ho oye kankanless oye proyeless oye chese bibia less because udin huni onne kromfo yetete ni fie ba maso bi wiesika oba so beboa ama adasa Ghana yenso so yetumi anya baabi agina enti abreni abribia no onya opportunity abommodin se obeye adwumaden ama Ghana fo anya ne so emfaso enti ene yeko elections me wonder which find the saying which campaign message and say any scandal NPP for and the better omanpini John Dramani Mahama himfa ukofa free himfa papa no nyame assign it and no I clean mwankasa mo special prosecutor mwakofa na ba excuse me obi ani se ono oye Gabi ochire dako omanpini Akuffo Addo nankasa ne wofa ase on papa Gabriel Osare Ochideda kona nkasa ne lawyer, ne former lawyer na chese yakotwe no e de no be share hono se ne be ya janko ba bi di Martina Midu ade a anka chese bone abehye ntina nko wadi mafia ene se ono so ba en why na adwene se da bi the fact that modi position na ma me no enche se me allow me ho amama manipulate me di nsampa di nokre ama nyankopon nti wa di na sempe adi ne mmara so ama ne nyame adom omanpanyini mahama litiri asan Ghanafo mumma yemfa wi enya afutuo me de me de ya me tia me de pa ne say omanpanyini Akuffo Addo asset precedence say omanpanyini biara wabetna adwa so na corruption bi afafafa wonsase akwanya no abeda ho se wososo yatwen ede wokọ fence any nhwehwemu council bi ana say fence investigative body bi anim na yenko investigative na nkọhwehwe wasemu so wadi bone a echese yatumi atwen waso ane omanpanyini Akuffo Addo asset precedence no yes president Kufuor ebaaye no oma enquiry bi efre omanpanyini Rawlings but no it wasn't about corruption it was about reconciliation yina yinim say afidi be reconciliation to be amra omeka na asem why e obone ni yina emfanje che ho eno me invite president Rawlings emo no so koka na asem ifiri ho asa obi anu a waba afre president bi say onko hemfa yenko hwehwe na asem David but omanpanyini Akuffo Addo asset president which is good abaye de botechi no ye de saba na nkasa ebebo ba way of onsa na waso wahwe wode enti achina bi said ye frɛ omanpanyini mahama no okɔ no oba ya mbo bi amani obi ante ho hwe no I hope say edane duru honma obi anhwe yie na wankɔbɔ obi din obi ahwe yie na wankɔdi obi achi ankɔsɛe bibi ene de gande Ghana ha yani ye nyina ebe demonstration ahia wo ye demonstration hia na yeso ye demonstration edi hia mo abusianfo ha PENDREAM TV message so subscribe to the channel like a video no emame na share to other platforms so na omososo enya benhwe abusia wo hwe no nyinara na wo de comment ato comment session no ase e de amayen ye hu adwenkyira wososo o ewo saa asemi hu PENDREAM TV yese edamu yopo
God have mercy upon us.
Addo you, Miami. If you give me thousands of Ghana cards and $1 US, I will choose the dollar. Hey, Mumu, campaign at Tokyo. It is smart people. Oh, Miami. Oni kwa kutia, mu Miami. Addo you, mu Miami. Oni kwa kutia no, mu Miami. Addo,
Working track, yeah.
Kanu cry, Akuffo Addo, you want me to do more? Kokra man fer so besu winning. Yes, we are dear bro, better so. Shame on you. Abaya the bot touchy, yeah, the baby bot band baby. Sana will be Miami. You can lie your way to power, You can do all propaganda. Dollar rate will expose you. The dollar has broken jail. You are pathological liar. You lie for living. Lies are your hobby. Google and Wikipedia recognize you as a liar. Your talent is to lie. You promised me heaven and earth. You promised me the whole universe. None of them has been fulfilled. You said if I give you power, I will live like in heaven. Look at the way I'm suffering. Walk on him. What do you trouble on mine? What trouble my own? Oh, mambo 47. Oda.
Working track, yeah.
Oda.
Working track,
Kano cry. Otrofo. Oda. You want me to say more? I have something to tell you. Sit down and cast your mind back. You see how you destroyed yourself. People see you as a joker. They see you as comedian. People see you like Mr. Ibu. They see you like Lewin. So Dr. Lies, change your ways. As someone make an watiana. A Dr. Lies, change your ways. So your judgment day is coming. Watiana. Watiafutua medema uno. Watiana. Sisa wakwane bebuawo. Watiana. Enya uhosa uyo nyansafuo. Kwa kutiana ogro na wampa wasam. Ode oye na juma keke mido. Makasa yue owa swatiemi.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.